Hello, it's a 2 video kind of day. Yay! When you have a good hair day, you just have to seize the day. You know what I'm saying? I went on a little bike ride between students and I did get rained on, so it did fall a little bit, but anyway, I'm gonna rejoice. I wanted to talk about different styles of motivation and my particular style as a teacher. So unless I'm in a collegiate setting, I'm pretty relaxed about outcomes and practice between lessons. I try to give my students, who are mostly adults at this point, not high schooler, I have just a couple younger ones, but most of them are adults, either professional singers or, in professional choirs or church choirs. And they're in voice lessons because they love to sing and they want to get better. And most of them don't really want someone to crack the whip. I almost said quack the whip. Crack the whip. In fact, I actually had someone today thank me for not making her feel bad about missing her practice this week, missing her practice time this week. That sounds weird. I mean, like, she didn't practice this week as much as she wanted to. She didn't not show up for a lesson with me or something. But she said, I just want to thank you, for not putting that pressure on me, for saying it's okay. And that's just how I roll. Every now and then I do worry that I'm not pushing my students hard enough. So I thanked her and told her that and said how affirming it was to hear that. And I think adults, you are paying good money for your lessons with me. And it's up to you how much you want to practice, how fast you want to progress, what you feel you have time for. And it's extremely rare that even someone who just shows up to their lessons and doesn't really practice outside of it, it's very rare that they don't move forward. In fact, I can't really think of anyone. So that's good, that even if we're just meeting once a week for an hour, that they're still seeing some progress. That's good. But I don't know. It must just be my own personality. I've never done well with the harder, go, do, grind it out, rah, rah, rah. Maybe I've tried some things like that with working out or, what I'm eating or whatever. And I tend to fall right off that bandwagon after about a week or so. I tend to get really into it and then just quit. It is not sustainable for me long term. So something else I was thinking about is that if I, as the teacher, turn that motivation back around on the student and say, instead of providing the pressure and the motivation for me, you need to practice because X, Y, Z and la, 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 especially if they don't have any performances coming up or nothing really pressing in terms of schedule, why? Why do we have to pressure them? Why can't we just support them and encourage them to practice if they want to? I don't know. I feel like this is going to be very controversial. But what I was trying to say is that when the motivation to do something constantly comes from someone outside of you, when that person goes away, so will your motivation. So I think maybe there is some wisdom in what I'm doing. And of course, I'm always learning. I'm not perfect, but in that I'm trying to help them cultivate the motivation from within themselves. And as adults, and as people that I don't have to grade or force to do specific types of rep to meet goals at a college, there's a lot more freedom. I feel my brain going off track, so I'm going to try to circle back here. You ever seen me have a brain moment? What else did I want to say about this? Yeah, it's when they start to think and understand their own reasons for self-motivation to practice and to move forward, then that's something they can carry with them regardless of if I'm their teacher, someone else is their teacher, they're not in lessons, they're just practicing for fun, whatever. It seems more sustainable is the word I keep thinking of. So yeah, and I will ask, if my adult students say something like, oh, if they get too worried about it, I didn't practice, I feel bad. I'm like, don't feel bad. We don't have anything pressing in terms of time that we're preparing for. It's your money. If you're happy with how you're doing, how you're progressing each week, it's up to you. Sometimes I will say something like, probably the more you think about what we do in lessons, outside of lessons, the more you practice, the faster you will get better. But that's all up to you. Everybody is at different capacities for lots of different reasons. And yeah, this is what happens when I try to do a video right after I'm done teaching. I feel like my sweet little brain is tired. But yeah, I'm nervous. Should I put this up? I don't know. I'm nervous to do this because I feel that I might get some major pushback. But I mean, that student actually said to me today, if you pressured me and you pushed me and you made me feel bad for not practicing, I wouldn't continue to take voice lessons. And I thought, oh, that's good info to have. That's not why I do things the way that I do, but that's really interesting. So, okay. I think I will say goodbye for now. I'm gonna go back and do some laundry. The beauty of the mundane and the routine. I'm enjoying that these days. I want a little less excitement in my life because it's been a little too exciting lately. So this is nice. And yeah, curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm sure there's going to be a whole spectrum of ways of motivating students, things like that. I do try to make it more organic. For instance, we might be implementing a studio class where my students online get to sing for each other like once a month or something, and then they may be more motivated to practice for something like that. But they're all getting better. So I don't know, to be continued.